I shouldn't have answered that call. It's a simple sentence, but it's been echoing in my head for weeks. Everything was normal before that. I was just like you, scrolling through my phone, watching videos, living my life. Then one Tuesday night, my phone rang. Unknown number. Usually, I ignore those, letting them go to voicemail. But this time, for some reason I still can't explain, my thumb just swiped to answer. Silence. At first, that's all there was. Just this deep, unsettling quiet. I said, "Hello?" Once, then twice, nothing. I was about to hang up, annoyed at the prank call, when I heard it. A faint whisper. It was scratchy, like an old radio transmission, and I couldn't make out the words. It sounded like static mixed with a human voice, struggling to break through. I said, "Hello? Who is this? I can't hear you." The whispering stopped. Then a single, crystal clear word came through the speaker. My name. My blood ran cold. It wasn't just that they knew my name. It was how they said it. It was a flat, toneless delivery, completely devoid of any emotion, like a computer reading a line of code. I immediately hung up, my heart pounding in my chest. Who was that? How did they get my number? I tried to brush it off. It was probably just a sophisticated spam call, one of those new AI-powered ones. But the feeling of dread just wouldn't go away. The next day, things started getting weird. I went to my favorite coffee shop, the one I go to every single morning. The barista, a friendly woman named Sarah who always remembers my order, just stared at me blankly when I walked in. I said my usual, the regular, please, and she just looked at me, confused. "Do I know you?" she asked. I was taken aback. "Sarah, it's me. I come in here every day." She just shook her head, a polite but firm smile on her face. "Sorry, I don't recognize you." I left feeling completely disoriented. It was just a fluke, right? Maybe she was having an off day. But it wasn't a fluke. Later that day, I ran into my neighbor, Mr. Henderson, while getting my mail. We always exchanged pleasantries about the weather or his garden. This time, he walked right past me. Not even a nod of acknowledgement. I called out to him, "Hey, Mr. Henderson, great day, huh?" He turned, gave me a puzzled look, and then just continued on his way without a word. It was like I was invisible. Or worse, like I was a complete stranger in my own life. That night, the phone rang again. Same unknown number. This time, I hesitated. A part of me screamed not to answer, to just block the number and forget about it. But another part, a morbidly curious part, needed to know what was happening. I answered. The same scratchy whisper started, but this time it was clearer. It was a voice, distorted and low, reading a list. Coffee, black, 2 sugars. Neighbor, Henderson, golden retriever named Buddy. Childhood best friend, Mark, moved to Oregon. It was a list of facts about my life, intimate details. Things no stranger could possibly know. I was frozen, phone pressed to my ear. "Who are you? What do you want?" I managed to choke out. The voice just continued, listing more and more details. My mother's maiden name, the scar on my left knee from when I fell off my bike at age 7, my deepest, most private fear that I'd never told a single soul. With each detail, it felt like a piece of me was being stolen, cataloged by this disembodied voice. I hung up, terrified, and threw my phone across the room. I felt violated. It was like someone had reached into my head and was pulling out my memories one by one. I decided I needed to get away. I packed a small bag, got in my car, and just started driving, no destination in mind. I drove for hours, trying to put as much distance as possible between me and whatever was happening. I ended up in a small, roadside motel 3 states away. I paid in cash, gave a fake name, and locked myself in the room. For a couple of days, there was peace. No calls, no strange encounters. I started to think maybe I'd imagined it all. Maybe I was just stressed out, having some kind of breakdown. I was starting to feel foolish. Then on the 3rd night, there was a knock on my motel room door. My heart stopped. I hadn't told anyone where I was. I hadn't even used a credit card. It was impossible. I crept to the door and looked through the peephole. Standing outside was a man in a simple, gray suit. He was completely average looking, not threatening at all. But his eyes, His eyes were empty, utterly blank. He knocked again, a steady, patient rhythm. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. Then my landline phone in the motel room began to ring. It was a shrill, piercing sound in the dead quiet. I stared at it, just knowing who it would be. The ringing stopped. A moment later, a piece of paper slid under the door. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely pick it up. On it was a single sentence, written in neat, block letters. We just want to talk. We're only trying to help you remember. Remember what? I felt like I was losing my mind. I crumpled the paper and backed away from the door. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, the man was gone. I checked out of the motel, my nerves completely shot. I decided I couldn't run anymore. I had to face this. I drove back home, my mind racing. What did they mean? Help you remember? Was there something I had forgotten? Something important? When I got back to my apartment, everything looked normal. But it didn't feel normal. It felt like a stage, a set that had been perfectly arranged. I walked over to my desk, where a small, locked wooden box sat. It was a gift from my grandfather. I hadn't opened it in years. I didn't even know if I still had the key. On a hunch, I started searching. I found the tiny, rusted key in the back of a drawer, right where I'd left it. With a click, I opened the box. Inside, there was just one thing. An old black and white photograph. It showed a group of children, maybe 5 or 6 of them, standing in front of an old, severe-looking building. They were all smiling except for one, a boy in the center. He was looking directly at the camera with an expression of pure terror. I stared at the boy's face. The eyes were familiar. With a jolt of shock that ran through my entire body, I realized I was looking at myself. But I have no memory of this place. No memory of these other children. I've never seen this photograph before in my life. Who are these people? Why was I so scared? It was like looking at a stranger who just happened to have my face. Just then, my phone buzzed on the table. A text message from the same unknown number. I opened it. It was a single line of text. Now do you understand why we had to call? Below the text was a GPS coordinate, an address. It was the address of the old building in the photograph. It's an abandoned sanatorium, about an hour from my city. The place has a dark history, stories of strange experiments and lost patients. So here I am. I have the photo, I have the address, and I have a choice. I can ignore it all, try to go back to a life that no longer feels real, where the people I know don't know me. Or I can go to that place. I can find out what happened there and what they took from me. The voice on the phone didn't feel like a threat anymore. It felt like a guide, a key to unlocking a part of my own mind that has been sealed away. I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, and the only way forward is to jump. I know it's crazy. I know it's dangerous, but I have to know the truth. I'm going to that sanatorium. I'm going to find out what happened, and I'm going to take you with me. Subscribe, and let's find out what's at the end of this road together. I have a feeling this is just the beginning.